Now, I bloody love the English football pyramid, but there's quite a lot about it that doesn't really make a hell of a lot of sense. That's putting it mildly. Some of it's downright stupid, isn't it? Beans, we're in the international break. Let's put the world to rights. I will raise some issues about our beloved pyramid, and you can have your say down there as ever in the comments. The first issue is right on the screen. We have three separate bodies: the Premier League, the EFL, and the National League, if we're going to go right on down. And have you ever heard the term too many cooks spoil the broth? Or more pertinently, he doesn't play well with others. The more bodies you have, the more problems you have, seemingly, and particularly at the top end with the EFL and the Premier League. Well, actually, with our first couple of items we're going to talk about, and the National League and the EFL the other way, why can't everybody just get on and do what's best for the greater good? Talking about the National League, and this goes for the pyramid right the way through. For a pyramid to work, people need to be able to get up and down it smoothly. So we want safe passage right the way through. So the first thing that really grinds people's gears is the fact that at the top of the National League, there is only one automatic promotion place and then 6 playoff places. So that is fewer than every EFL league that all have a minimum of 2 automatic promotion places, and then more playoff places. So we're going higher to potentially not get promoted and lower to potentially get promoted. And I know Notts County got there in the end, but we did have the absurd kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, display of Notts County. What did they get? 107 points, and then had to equalise right at the end of their playoff games to get promotion, which in most other universes and divisions would have been gained automatically. So first up, I think would probably be fair if we had more than one automatic promotion place in the National League. But the knock-on effect of that is the next thing that doesn't make sense. There's only 2 teams get relegated from the EFL into the National League. And this is where self-interest is going to come in for the first time, because the EFL want to keep hold of their teams, don't they? And once you're in, and it's hard to get out. And I kind of joked with Matt SB about the luckiest and unluckiest positions in the English football pyramid on our League One prediction show. Well, maybe the luckiest is in League Two, where if you were to finish in 22nd place out of 24 teams, you won't get relegated. And that's not the only madness of League Two. 3 teams get automatically promoted. So in concurrent divisions in the English Football League, you've got 1 automatic promotion place, and then in the very next division, you've got 3. I know we'll get a lot of people in the comments that don't like playoffs and whatnot. I do. We'll come on to that. But is 3 automatic promotion places right in a 24-team league? And then a 4th promotion place as well in the playoffs, especially in the same league where only 2 goes down. All seems a bit skewed between League Two and the National League. Quite why they do it, I don't know. But again, the knock-on effect of 3rd going up automatically in League Two is that 4 teams get relegated from League One. And again, I think that's too many. And I want lovely uniformity. 2 up automatically, 4 playoffs, 3 go down right through the 3 EFL divisions. Call me boring. I like that symmetry. Some people might like the chaos of it being different, but doesn't quite feel right. And if we want completely smooth transition up and down the pyramid, that would surely be the way. And by God, if 22nd in League Two is the luckiest place to finish in the EFL, then surely the unluckiest is 21st in League One, where if you're 4th bottom, you're going to get relegated, and you probably could score double the amount of points that 22nd in League Two. I'm exaggerating with double, but many, many more points there. So I think the promotions and relegations could be improved right the way through just by giving uniformity there through National League, League Two and League One. When we get to the Championship, as I've said, And yes, maybe I'm a little bit biased. I love the Championship. That's my primary division to cover. But I think 24 teams, 2 up automatically, 4 playoffs, 3 relegated. I think that's the right amount. Being in the top 2 of 24, you're the best. You get out. Being in the bottom 3, you're the worst. I think that's fair enough. And look, let's address the playoffs because we have the conversation every season. I think they are good. And I think there's a reason why they haven't changed for many, many years. I don't particularly like the National League system. If you do, let me know in the comments. It's all taste and opinion, so I'll respect your opinion so long as you respect my right to have mine. I think the one thing that did need a do-over was the away goals in the playoffs. I think that was stupid. That was absolutely ridiculous that the team that finished higher was supposedly advantaged by playing second, but then the team that finished lower was the only one that had the opportunity to have an extra 30 minutes to score more away goals, etc., etc. Anyway, they did over with that. If you held a gun to my head, don't hold a gun to my head, and said I had to change one thing about the playoffs, and I had to, what I would do is I would add one extra advantage to the team finishing higher. And if you've watched any of my watch-alongs during England tournaments, you will know I think extra time's absolutely rubbish, waste of time, risk-averse, nothing interesting, never happens. All the players are knackered. Maybe in tournaments you need it, but in the playoffs, maybe you should say in the semi-finals particularly, maybe not the final, but at least in the semi-finals, 2 games, 2 legs. At the end of the 2 legs, if you're still level, the team that finished higher in the league goes through to Wembley. And okay, fine, do extra time and penalties in the final. That would be the one change I would make. And then up to the top division, and really, look, I'll talk about money in a sec because that may be the main thing that we actually need to fix in English football. But really in the Premier League, it's just the folly of the Champions League. And I think it went down recently. I did a little Google before I did this, from 5 to 4 places. So literally a 20-team league, 5 places. So that would be a quarter of the league. So the top 25% of the league would go into the Champions League. If only we could think of a different name for a competition played on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays through the bulk of the season for Europe. How about a European Super League? Anyway, park that, but the idea of the Champions League being the Champions League has been ridiculous for a long, long time. And yeah, I've just raised the spec. I don't know why the Premier League allows so many places, but hey, maybe if we just had one organisation doing everything and not battling organisations, because you talk about the National League, the EFL and the Premier League. At Premier League level, add in the FA, the PFA, UEFA and FIFA as well, and it becomes even more convoluted and there's even more cooks spoiling the broth in the kitchen. Use whatever cliche insert there you like. So they're all the structural things, but I suppose the biggest thing, and this comes with there being different bodies, particularly the Premier League and the EFL, is the TV distribution. And I've given up knowing the exact numbers. I used to get very stressed and vexatious about this 4 or 5 years ago, but it is what it is. It's just the way that the pyramid is structured. But the idea to me, and again, I don't know the exact numbers. If you know the exact numbers and you're keeping up, it just does my nuts, so I can't look anymore. But the idea that if you are 1st to 17th in this pyramid, you would get 100 million plus TV money. And then drop 1 place. So 18th to 20th in our pyramid. We're going to half the TV money then. The next season, you're going to get 50 million. And if you're 1 place lower again, and we're talking Premier League bottom 3, and then Championship, it goes down to 7 million. Is it any wonder, and I'm very aware of this as an Ipswich fan right now because they're in that ecosystem, is it any wonder people have trouble when we talk about safe passage up and down the pyramid that we have a very strange ecosystem with relegation to the Championship, promotion from the Championship to the Premier League, and this idea that there's almost a little pyramid within the pyramid of teams that go in between those 2 leagues, and the TV money and parachute payments and cliff edges and all of that needs to just be smoothed out so we don't have this situation where if you're 17th, that much, parachute payment that much, everybody else that much. Can we make that a little bit easier? But that goes back to my very first point, that while you have multiple organisations, well, this sort of thing's going to happen, and the Premier League is going to look after the Premier League at the expense of the EFL, and the EFL is going to look after the EFL at the expense of the National League. Roll it on out, self-interest, ahoy. You know the deal. Look after your own, not in my backyard. Get your views in the comments. And I did start this video saying I bloody love the English football pyramid. So, yes, I'm being slightly tongue-in-cheek saying it's completely stupid. But, hey, we've got to have an interesting title and a hook somewhere in this video, haven't we? Get your views in. For my money, if we could have one less body involved, maybe two less bodies involved, and just English football was governed by one entity, that would be great. If we could have uniformity with 2 automatic promotion places, 4 playoff places and 3 relegation places in each of the divisions, obviously other than the Premier League where there's no promotion out of it. I think that would be lovely. If you held a gun to my head and had to change one thing in the playoffs, it would be that in the semi-finals, maybe you don't go to extra time in the second leg, and the team that finished higher got through to the final on that basis. And of course, money. Can we make things a little bit fairer across the board? I get that the top teams make the most money and the bottom teams make the least. I get that. That's fine. But do we need to have such pronounced, ridiculous, crazy, mental cliff edges? Those are my changes. And for those who want to comment, yeah, none of that's ever going to happen, Ben. Fine. You may be right, but let's at least have the conversation during international break. You fix it down there in the comments as well. And if you want to stay with the channel, click up there. Bit of fun the past couple of days in terms of the championship. We have got the bookies predictions and then my predictions. Which are you going to click on? I wonder.